Homework's going to be different this week. This week we're going to do an entire page each night. And then the next night you'll watch the video, or at school the next day you'll watch the video to check over your homework and correct any mistakes you may have made. Math Journal page 3-16. Number 1. The bar graph below shows the tail lengths of several animals. Okay, here's our title, Animal Tails. Our labels, kind of animal, dog, kitten, mouse, hawk, iguana. Length of tails in centimeters. Okay, fill in the information from above in the table shown below. So we have animal tails, our title stays the same. Name of animal, length of tail in centimeters, length of tail in centimeters. So we're going to take the data from here and put it into the chart here. So I added all of the names of the animals in the same order that's on our chart up here to keep me from getting confused. Now I'm going to look up here and see. For dog, the dog is in between 60 and 70. It's not quite in the middle, so it's going to be less than 65. So we could go with 62 or 63 on this one. Kitten is easy because it's right on the line for 30. Mouse is between 0 at the beginning and 10, but it's very close to 10. It's past the halfway mark. So it'd probably be about 7 or 8. The hawk is between 20 and 30, but not to the halfway point yet. So it's going to be less than 25. So probably about 22 or 23. And the iguana is right on the mark for 40. B says to write the animals in order from longest tail to shortest tail. So we're going to find longest first. And looking through, our biggest number is 63. Then next would be 40. Then next would be 30. 23. And mouse would be last with 8. So we would need to write the animals, is what it's asking for, in order from longest to shortest. The longest was the dog, then iguana, kitten, hawk, and mouse. Finally, C says, what is the approximate combined length of the animal's tails? Now the word approximate tells us we're going to round, and combined tells us we're going to add. So first we need to go through and round. 63. Circle your number, look right next door. 4 or less, just ignore. The 6 stays a 6. Everything to the right is 0. 30 is already rounded to its nearest 10. 8. Circle your number. There's nothing to look at next door, but we're going to round this one. And this one you have to decide if it's closer to 0 or closer to 10. And on a number line, 5 is our middle factor where we decide if we go up or if we go back down. 8 would be right here, and 8 is closest to 10. 23. Circle your number, look right next door. 4 or less, just ignore, so that stays a 2. Everything to the right turns to a 0. And the last number, 40, is already rounded as well. And then you simply add those up, and your sum is 160. All right, on worksheet 3-16, number 2, vocabulary, line of symmetry. Now your definition is to include that it's a line that cuts a shape in half where both halves are identical or they can fold on top of each other. And a good example of that would be, we've talked about before, was a square, and that it had a vertical line of symmetry, a horizontal line of symmetry, and both diagonal lines. You could cut it across all those ways and it would fold over and match up perfectly. The next question is to give a definition of congruent. And congruent, remember, is when anything is the same, two shapes that are the same shape and the same size. So a good example of that would be two triangles that are exactly the same shape and the same size. C says to circle the congruent shapes and draw a line to connect pairs that are congruent. Okay, your first congruent pair should have been the two crescents. Remember, they don't have to face the same direction to be congruent. They just have to be the same size and the same shape. The other one was this cross and this cross. And you should have connected those together with a line. D says to find a line of symmetry on the shapes. Some shapes may have more than one line. Okay, starting with our heart, it has one line of symmetry, one vertical line. If you cut it right down the middle, you would be able to fold each half on top of each other. And it would line up just right. The double arrow has a horizontal line where each half would fold over, and a vertical line. The triangle has one line of symmetry, a diagonal line. The down arrow has one vertical line of symmetry. And the trapezoid has one line of vertical symmetry.